gonna do an ebony and ivory.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do that with, I'm gonna do it grommet. I'm gonna be good. I'm going to Atlanta to visit friends and I'm gonna eat a lot this weekend. With an unstuffed and a funfetti white. Yes, wait for it. Cinnamon toast crust.
There we go.
Alright, what are you going with, Roy?
You know what? I think I'm gonna try something different.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
No, I'm gonna try something different. That's on the menu.
Go for it.
No, it's something different.
Oh wait, that's literally what it's called? Oh man! Did you see that one? I did not see that one. Welcome to today's episode of The Scoop. Joining me in this edition is Jaguars defensive lineman Roy Robertson-Harris. Roy, what's the scoop today?
Today we got something different. We got a little bit of walnuts, vanilla, little caramel in there with a brownie cookie.
I love it.
Trying to keep my weight up for the summer, you know.
Fantastic. I went with, which if you haven't been, tell the folks at home where we are having this lovely ice cream from, Roy.
Cookies and Creme, Jax Beach.
The spot.
If you haven't been here before, it's a must, absolute must. Got a great area for the kids to come hang out. If you're at the beach, quick little walk, couple blocks, not too far. So it's always a good little end of the night, cherry on top.
And you went with standard ice cream and the cookie.
Yeah.
But what they're known for is you build your own ice cream sandwich.
Sandwiches.
That's what I have done. So Roy, cheers. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
On today's episode.
Thank you guys.
So as you know, here on The Scoop, we like to take it all the way back, where it all started for you. Now, for you, before we dive into, are you from Texas, are you from the Bay Area, I have a bigger question for you.
All right.
Why is your last name hyphenated?
That's a good question. So when I was younger, my mom had got married. I was born Roy Robertson, and when my mom's got married to my stepdad, he had a big influence on my life. He pretty much he's one of the biggest reasons why I'm playing in the league today. We spent a lot of time together just working on my craft and getting me prepared for college and obviously to the NFL. He's my pops. Like I don't ever call him my stepdad, but just so y'all kind of understand. But yes, it's my pops, and I decided to take his name, but didn't want to go Roy Harris because everybody would kind of be confused. That wasn't my birth name, but I wanted to take both names. So Robertson Harris, I wanted to put them both together, and that's what it is.
Love it. Now, how old were you when your pops and your mom got married?
I was 13.
Okay, so it was a little bit later in life.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're born though not in Texas. Did your mom and your pops meet in Texas?
So my folks knew each other since the first grade. They actually known each other since the first grade. They've known each other for a long time, and they met when it was Richmond, California, original, where they went to elementary school. They've known each other pretty much their whole life, and I was born in Oakland, California, and once my mom flirted with the idea of moving to Texas when we were young, me and my sister.
Yeah.
But she didn't really execute on it. Once she got married, then it was, hey, we're picking up, we're leaving, we're gonna start fresh, and that's what we did. So
you actually are technically a California guy.
I'm a Texifornian.
Texifornian. I like that.
I just made that up.
It's fantastic.
I'm a California kid, but I'm also a Texas kid at heart. Texas really brought the love for the game of football out. If you've never been to Texas, it's the football capital of the world. That's where I learned to play the game. If you're not playing football, you're not really doing too much, in Texas. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, it's Texas is really home for me though. It's been a great place.
Did you play football when you were in California?
I did my last year living there, and I hated every bit of it.
Really?
Hated every bit of it. I wanted to be a receiver, and they put me at right tackle. I did.
How big are you at this point?
12 years old. I'm 6'2", maybe 150.
Okay.
Maybe.
But you're a tall drink of water.
So yeah,
So
I'm
you
seventh
fit,
grade.
you fit the mold of a wide receiver.
7th grade, I'm pretty tall, like 6'2". I'm the tallest kid in my class. As 8th graders, we're neck and neck. But I wanted to be a receiver. I was a Raider fan growing up, and Randy Moss at the time was playing for the Raiders. I wanted to be like Randy Moss, so I told the coaches, "Hey, I want to play receiver," and they looked me up and down and said, "Yeah, you're a tackle." So my first year wasn't too fun. Next year, moved to Texas, and I was playing tight end for a little bit. That was actually pretty fun. And then I played some D tackle, and that was really fun because I realized I was bigger than most people, and it was a lot more fun hitting than getting hit. So took the love to playing defense, and pretty much all through high school, I was the defensive end, outside linebacker, a little bit of tight end here and there, but mainly on defense is where I found my joy.
Did you play any other sports when you were growing up?
I tried basketball.
In California or in Texas?
In Texas. I got fouled out a lot, so I kind of moved on from basketball, and then tried baseball, but really couldn't throw. I could hit, but I had to be able to throw. Couldn't really throw too good, so moved on.
Trevor hasn't asked you to throw.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. But yeah, I tried baseball, tried basketball, and just had a love for football and stuck with it all through high school.
Which is crazy to think because in middle school, you don't like football.
Yeah, I hated it.
So what are your interests then at that age?
I had an interest in basketball, but just wasn't good enough to make the team. I watched a lot of basketball growing up. The Golden State Warriors was the team, that we watched.
Pre-Steph.
Yeah, pre-Steph. This was when Baron Davis was there, Jay Rich, O'Donnell Foyle. They had a lot of good players, but that was the time I really just enjoyed playing basketball. And during recess, I wasn't even playing organized basketball, but it was fun though. It was a good time.
So you're one of 4. What's the order?
One of 4
siblings.
I got way more than 4 siblings.
Really? Okay.
I have 9 brothers and sisters.
9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you fall in the 9?
I'm in the middle. I'm a middle child. Second oldest boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what is it like growing up with 8 siblings?
8 siblings. It's not too bad. It's not as bad as people think. We all pretty much stayed in our lane. Would say everybody was pretty chill.
What's the age gap?
My oldest sister's in her late 30s. I'll be 30 this year. My oldest brother, Brandon, he's a year older than me. And I got a younger brother, younger sister. Yeah, we're pretty spread out.
Yeah, what's the youngest?
Youngest, my youngest sibling is 28.
Okay.
Sister, yeah.
All right, so it's kind of all...
Yeah. We're all spread out.
Yeah, all spread out
spread
somewhere
out.
in there.
Yeah.
All right, and now everyone moved to Texas.
No. We're all
over the place.
All over the place.
Okay,
Yeah.
So who moves to Texas with you, your mom, and your pops?
Me and my sister.
Okay.
Me and my sister Taria. We're pretty close in age. We're a year apart, and we picked up and left. Went to school in Texas. Enjoyed it, for the most part, and
New kid in 7th grade.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was a culture shock leaving Cali, going to Texas. The vision I had of Texas living in Cali was dirt roads and cowboy. Everybody was a cowboy riding horses. I really didn't know what to expect moving to Texas, but it was a lot different. It was a lot more hot.
Because you're in the Dallas area.
Yeah. It was pretty warm though. It was just a lot different than what I expected for sure.
You didn't see a cowboy or rodeos, just out in the the next door down.
Tumbleweeds, no.
None of that. Well, we are going to get to El Paso though,
there we go.
And that's where maybe you did have some tumbleweeds. So you got 9 siblings. You're one of 9, 8 siblings.
Okay.
But then you also have a cousin who did play in the league.
Yeah.
Are you close at all with him?
We talk every now and then.
Okay.
We're not super close, but we talk every now and then. He's a good cat. But he's I watched my first college game. Was his game in Kansas City. He played in the Big 12 championship, and
sweet.
that was my first time being exposed to big time football. And I would say that's kind of when I started to pick up the love. Like, this is somewhere I could be a big stage. He's playing in the Big 12 game. He gets drafted, plays for a number of years in the league, wins a Super Bowl. So, I want that for myself, so.
Because how old are you at that point?
I'm in 8th grade at the time, 13, 14 years old. And, he's accomplishing all these things. So I really just put my mind to it, say, this is something I want to do. And at the time, my pops, he's waking me up early. We're working out in the morning, swimming, running around the neighborhood. Like, he's getting me in the best shape I could get in. And now we're here. And
walk me through a Pops workout. What's a typical Pops workout when you're in 8th, 9th grade?
All right, so 6 a.m., we're getting up. Sometimes 5:30, depends on his work schedule. But I'm 5:30, 6 o'clock, getting up in the weight room. He had bought me a whole weight set for Christmas one year, so we're lifting weights in the garage. Then he'll have me run this lap around the neighborhood. It was about 1.5 miles, and I absolutely hated running. So
same.
So that was not my thing, but lifting was always cool. I wanted to be strong, wanted to be big and strong. I was a huge wrestling fan at the time, so I wanted to be big like everybody else.
Well, wrestling. Are we talking like Olympic wrestling?
No, it's on WWE.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So I wanted to be big and strong like those cats, and so lifting weights was always fun. I hated running though. But we would run. He'd make me a huge breakfast. It could be pancakes, it'd be oatmeal or something, just trying to put weight on. And then I'd go to school, be at school all day, come home, we'd lift again. We wouldn't do like 2 lifts in one day, but he'd have me run all the way to the natatorium from the house. After I caught the bus and went to school, I'd run all the way to school, do 20 laps in the pool. And then depending on what day, Tuesdays we had at Popeyes, they'd have like a 2-for-1 special. So we'll grab some chicken, or Sonic, they had like Tuesday dollar burgers. So we'd always go to the restaurants with the best deals, grab some grub and head to the house. So that was
so you're trying to make weight and you're getting the muscle.
I'm just trying to put on weight at this point. Like, I'm at 9th grade, I'm 6'4", but I'm not even 200 pounds yet. Okay. So at this time, I'm just trying to put weight on. I'm trying to get on varsity. Like, I see all the old heads, they're on varsity playing. Fun fact about me, I didn't get on varsity until my junior year.
I was going to ask you about that.
Didn't play at all my junior year, and then my senior year I started on varsity, and that's when I actually feel like I was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I found an old headline from your recruitment, or rather from your senior
high school?
year. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, it was when you made all metro area and all those honors. And it's funny because they described, they say Roy Robertson-Harris burst onto the scene for his class. And part of that is because you have to wait.
Yeah.
You didn't get this, and I understand, it's Dallas, it's Texas high school football. Every kid wants to play.
Right.
But the guys that make the NFL, they're usually playing, correct me if I'm wrong, 9th, 10th grade.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah. Looking back, I don't know why I wasn't playing, but it is what it is. No hard feelings. But I waited all the way until my senior year to really play. Even as a backup, my junior year, I didn't really get any snaps. My senior year, I finally got to started the entire season, didn't miss any games. We made it to the playoffs, lost to Euless Trinity, who was a powerhouse in Texas. But it was a good run. It was a fun experience. It gave me experience on what it is to start on the field, because I never really knew what that felt like. And then same thing in college. I redshirted for a year. And then I played my freshman year, sophomore year, ended up starting. And I didn't miss any games during that time either. I was able to start sophomore year on. So.
Well, let's stick with the high school.
Okay.
What does waiting your turn, having to wait till senior year, in the moment it probably sucks.
Yeah.
But what does that do for you in the long run then when you look ahead to college and your road in the NFL? But in the moment, it sucks.
It's patience, to be honest, because I don't know, I can't even tell you, where my head was. It was just a day-to-day thing. I just had this one goal. I remember asking my D-line coach, hey, can I play on varsity? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And, I moved on. I just kept rolling, kept going on my workouts, kept doing whatever was necessary to make it, and I finally made varsity and sat the bench the whole year. And I was just literally every game I had just myself ready. I was like, whenever my number was called, but it sucked. Like, you see me pouting on the sideline, like I was hurt, but I didn't let it get to me. I just kept going.
Do you pout? Like, I know I had an experience. Granted, my high school soccer career, nowhere near, obviously, your football career. But I know when I got benched, the instant thought is, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? And so you have to, like, find inspiration. And so I know for me, it was my old club coach from middle school wrote me a letter. And I kind of read that letter before every game, whether I was starting or not. And then midway through the season, the other goalie got hurt. And that's how then I got my job back by that, and then never lost it again.
Right.
But I read that letter even when I was starting again, when we were in the conference tournament, the state playoffs. Like, I read that letter every day. Was there anything for you that, like, was that motivation?
I say aside from my cousin, because I was watching him a lot. Just Saturday mornings, I'd just be watching College Game Day, and I just told myself that's where I wanted to be at. And my cousin, he played at Nebraska, so we were to catch a lot of his games, being in the Big 12 at the time. So being able to watch him and all the guys that he played with, but just every single Saturday, like, College Game Day was my thing. Like, I'd get more excited about that than the NFL. Like, every kid has a dream of going to the NFL, but at the time, I just wanted to play college football. I wanted to be on Saturdays, like, watching Tim Tebow and all those guys. Like, that was a good time. I got to throw Tim out there. He's a Jacksonville kid, but just...
You did play with him.
Yeah,
He was in the locker room
but just,
with you.
I mean, when he was at Florida, like, during that time, like, I'm in high school and watching that team, it was just like, man, him, and, like, I wanted to go to Tech. Tech was my dream school at the time.
Yeah.
Michael Crabtree was one of my favorite guys. I wanted to be still wanted to be a receiver at the time. But, just College Game Day was my motivation. I wanted to be those guys. I wanted to be a college football player.
Where did you want to go to college?
I wanted to go to Tech at the time. Texas Tech was my dream school. They was my favorite colors, and I wanted to go to a Texas school. Didn't really care for UT or OU or any of those schools.
Okay.
But Tech was just because they were my colors, my favorite colors, red and black. And but yeah, that was a good time though. High school was, yeah.
Did you have any conversations with Texas Tech?
Yeah, I actually did a 3-day camp with them. I got offered by Coach Tubbs, and that was actually a fun experience. I did a 3-day camp up there, got to stay in the dorms, and literally was like, man, this is pretty awesome. This is my dream school. This is where I want to be. Like, it was a pretty dope experience.
So how do you end up at UTEP?
Yeah, I had a D-line coach that coached there for a while. He's an NFL coach, Coach Andre Patterson, and want to go play for him. He's a family friend, and just his experience in the NFL, seeing that he coached a Hall of Famer in John Randall, and so I was like, you know what, this is a guy that can really help me develop my game, and UTEP also being a smaller school, I wanted to play early. I could play early just off of recruitment. I was the only defensive end they brought in, so I knew, I could come in, I could make a difference, so ended up working out. Was hoping to play for Dre for a longer period of time, but business is business. But I enjoyed my time at UTEP, made a lot of friends, had a lot of memories, met my wife there at UTEP, so had a really good time there in El Paso.
So you come in and you think, all right, compared to Tech, compared to some of these other schools, I'll get to play at UTEP.
Yeah.
A little bit earlier.
Yeah.
How long did you have to wait?
Just 1 year. Well, I redshirted. Had some things happen off the field prior, so I had to redshirt. But after that redshirt year, I was able to play my freshman year. First play I ever got in. We played OU. I got a sack, so that was a pretty exciting time. And it was a good experience. That my time at UTEP was a dope experience.
You're mostly a backup though, right? Sophomore.
Freshman year, yep. And then one of the guys got hurt, and I took the opportunity, got my name called, and yeah.
Never gave it up.
Never gave it up.
Love it. Now, you did have a coaching change
Yeah.
during that time. Had you had a coaching change in high school?
Yeah. Well, I can't even say that because I wasn't on varsity until my junior
Right.
year. But since I had been at my high school, I had the same D-line coach. So to me, really nothing changed. Like I've had the same position coach all through high school. Nothing really changed aside from that. Like we had a new head coach going into my sophomore year, but nothing really changed.
So college, that's kind of a rude awakening.
Yeah, it was different. I expected to play for Coach Price, my entire time, and but like I said, business is business. Guys move on, coaches get other opportunities, and he retired, and Coach Patterson moved on, and but yeah, it was pretty. It was a lot different when we got the coaching change.
Are you grateful that you had that experience in college? Did that prepare you for the NFL?
I'm grateful for all my experiences. You're the best teacher in life is your own experiences, I feel like. So, I can't say there's a certain way to prepare for the NFL. You just have to learn from your mistakes once you get to the NFL and learn from the other guys that have been there before, just taking in all the knowledge you can from old heads or coaches that are coaching you,
Yeah. So I'll jump around a little bit since
Okay.
You said you met Kristen.
Crystal. Yeah.
Excuse me. You met Crystal
Yep.
at UTEP.
Mhm.
How did you meet her? You're looking over at her.
We met at a party.
Okay, that's okay. That's allowed.
Young kids, just
freshman year or?
her freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just finished my redshirt year.
Okay.
She's a year behind me, high school. She graduated a year after I did, but just finished my redshirt year. She's a freshman. We meet at a party. We're kicking it. We're talking for a bit, and I asked for her number, and she was going to another school at the time, and we were doing the long distance thing for a while, and FaceTiming just about every night, every morning, every night, falling asleep on FaceTime. And the first game we played, OU, I asked her if she wanted to come to the game. Well, I asked her to be my girlfriend first.
Okay. I
then-
love the old school. I think that their chivalry is not dead.
Well, I asked her
appreciate
to be my girlfriend.
You weren't just talking or texting.
No. We were doing that for a
together.
while, and I the conversation was so dope. Like every single day, it was like something new with her. Like she had a lot of questions. Like I'm a super boring dude. Like I don't really like to talk. Like,
I don't know. You've been pretty interesting this whole
talking,
podcast.
Like I'm on camera, like I'm talking, but like she'll tell you, like she has to drag conversation out of me sometimes. But no, it was hella dope. Like anytime we talk, she was an exciting person to talk to. And I asked her to be my girlfriend one day, and then asked her, hey, like, because we didn't really have money, so I was like, hey, if I fly you out for the OU game, will you, get the return ticket? So we split a ticket, and she came out, and we got to rapping, and that's how it happened.
Who was the quarterback at OU at the time?
Landry Jones.
Okay.
Landry Jones. My first play in college, I sacked him off a spin move.
Do we know where he is? Selling insurance
I want to say
somewhere?
he was he was with Pittsburgh for a while, wasn't he?
Okay.
Am I?
Yeah,
okay.
They're all nodding,
Yeah.
so I'm not keeping up with it. I'm not following my OU quarterbacks.
Yeah, no,
evidently,
I want to say he was with Pittsburgh for a while. I couldn't tell you in years, but
yeah,
that was super fun. They were number 4 at the time. He's projected to win the Heisman, and they're how college they do the projections, but it was a super dope experience. Your first college game and you're playing a top 5 team at your house. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, they do projections. They do projections for the draft for the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They do projections for the defensive linemen. Where were you projected to go? Did you get any pre-draft interactions that you thought, hey, maybe this is where I'm going to go?
I for sure thought I was going to get drafted in the 5th, 6th round.
Okay.
Looking back, I'm pretty proud to be undrafted.
Yeah. You say it. You say you were drafted in the 8th round.
Oh yeah, I
you
say
wear
that.
that.
I say that a lot. People, sometimes it goes over people's head, but no, eighth round of life is the way to go. Nothing against anybody that was drafted, but just to be able to come from the bottom and work your way up. Not even playing the position I was brought in at. I was an OLB. They saw the athleticism and said, okay, he's a linebacker. No way. I'm a D lineman. I gotta have my hand in the ground. I gotta be physical with people. I gotta get my.
Because how much are you weighing at that point?
what was I, about 260? I was about 260 when I came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it took me forever to get that 260. I couldn't get over 240 in college, So, but no, I was.
What are you now? 295?
Oof, I'm about 300 right now.
Right.
Y'all got me eating ice cream on camera. Shoot, I'm
ain't wrong.
about 302 right now.
Right? Hey, listen, we ain't counting the calories right now. We're still in this is technically the off season right now.
There we go.
Dead period.
But I was about 260 and ended up putting the weight on as time went on.
Yeah. So how do the Bears enter the picture?
So the Bears actually, they did a workout. Them in Green Bay worked me out a few weeks sometime before the 30 visits. And I did a visit with, actually not too long, I think it was about a week or two after, did a visit in Chicago and then the next in Green Bay. And Chicago just showed a lot of love. Coach Hurt, he was an outside linebacker coach at the time. He's a DC in Seattle now. Just the 30-minute to hour, however long we met, I learned a lot of football from him. Just that little bit of time that I had, I was able to soak up a lot of knowledge. And during the draft, I was expecting to get drafted, and obviously didn't. And we spoke, and he's like, "Man, look, I can really help you develop your game, and I want to go play for him." Went to Chicago, and OLB wasn't my best of times, but I was able to learn a lot, and eventually got moved to defensive line.
Well, you get there, and you don't play your first year.
Yeah.
Non-football illness.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I had some cramping issues. They call it rhabdomyolysis. So just overtrained and didn't really have much education on the pro day training. All I had on my mind was I have to make a team, and I knew I wasn't going to be a high draft pick. So just overworking myself and not knowing, really understanding the workload. So I had a couple incidents where I've had full body cramps, and had to deal with hospital visits and IVs and all that stuff. So missed that first year. Thankfully, the Bears held on to me during that time because they could have easily said, we don't want to deal with it. And if they don't want to deal with it, 31 other teams are going to want to deal with it. So fortunate enough, Chicago held on to me during that time and allowed me to soak up as much information as I could. And during that time, got a little fat, got to put on some weight, and I worked on it. I just kept working out and was able to lean out and hold the weight on and say, you know what, you can play D tackle. So learned the scheme and was able to make the team the first year as a D lineman in the league.
What is that first year like, though? Like you said, they didn't have to.
My rookie year?
Yeah,
it was
the constant probably concern about job security.
It was. I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty annoying. Like, I really wanted to just play, and I just didn't have the right mindset going into the whole situation of they're holding on to you for a reason. But I'm a rookie, undrafted. There's just I'm super uncertain about what's gonna happen, and so I didn't know what to think mentally. Every day I was everywhere, and once I made the team at DN, I really had my confidence was through the roof. It's like, okay, if I can make this team, I told my family all I needed was a foot in the door. I'm gonna work my tail off. Nothing's gonna stop me, and I spoke it into existence. Wasn't too sure how everything was gonna play out, but ended up working out.
Because there it is again, where you had to wait.
Oh yeah.
And so, how much do you look back now? Like when you're in that moment in Chicago, are you looking back at what happened in college, what happened in high school? Are you looking back and saying, all right, I did it there, I'm going to do it again?
Absolutely. I mean, looking back, it's crazy. It's already 8 years later.
I know. I'm the same age as you. We're washed up.
Golly.
It's awful.
But
it's awful.
Yeah, looking back, it's a trip that I'm already going into year 8 because I was not even sure how I was going to get through year 1. But my family stayed behind me, and, as difficult as it may have been, my wife, she did her thing and she held the fort down, but it was a tough time. That first year was one of the toughest times of my life, physically and mentally. But it's life. You just got to keep going. Ain't nothing gonna stop you. If your mind's right.
Are you leaning on Crystal? Are you leaning on your pops? Or is it maybe something completely different that you have to turn
I'm
to?
leaning on everybody. Everybody just stuck behind me. They just stayed in my corner, every single day. It was tough. I ain't gonna sit here in front. It was a tough year, but my family was just there, no matter what. They didn't really care, whether or not I was, living my dream. It was like, we just want you to be happy and, realize that we love you and we care about you. And that's all I needed. Just that little push every day. And ended up working out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
now you fast forward a couple of years in Chicago. You sack Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You sack a couple pretty big names in that first year. You really explode onto the scene. You get a bag from Jacksonville.
There we go.
What the heck happened between that year that was one of the most difficult years of your life and then signing here in Jacksonville? What changed?
Well, I had a lot of guys around me that were really good pros, and they showed up to work every day, and I had a good example about how to be a professional. And I feel like I'm already a punctual guy, so that's already one thing. But just to be a pro every single day, it's easy to say, "Oh, I made the team." Okay, you made the team, but what are you gonna do for it's 18 weeks now? What are you gonna do every single week? Are you happy that you just got the jersey and the helmet, or are you ready to prepare Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then play Sunday? Win or lose, get your body right. Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, start to get a feel of what the team's gonna do, and then prepare again all over. Are you willing to do that every single week? So seeing all those guys every single week just come and be a pro, Danny and Akeem and Bojack, Prince, Kyle, I can name 100 guys, that
was a good crew.
Yeah.
That 2018 crew.
I can name that whole defense. Those guys just showed up every single day and went to work. There was no complaining. There was no, oh man, we knew we had a defense, but it's one thing to have talent. We had communication. There was so much that was flowing through that room that we knew we could do it. Obviously fell short, but that year, but yeah, just over that time, I learned a lot from those guys. And then K-Mac came in 2018 and learned a lot from him, just being an all-pro at 2 different positions and defense player, all that stuff. Learning to see what he does every week to prepare, and one of the best defensive players in the league. I feel like that's what it really was over the time in Chicago.
I forgot you played with Khalil Mack. I forgot about that. So that must have made this past playoff a little bit something extra.
Oh yeah, my old D-line coach is over there too, Jay Rogers. Yeah, so a couple of guys that I played with, they're over there in San Diego and or LA.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
But
we do it all the time.
It was pretty fun. It was a good experience.
So off the field, what's the timeline? When do you guys get married? When do the boys enter the picture?
So we got married going into my rookie year. We just family wasn't too happy, but we eloped. We ran off into the sunset and just got married.
Okay. What is the sunset? Do you go to an island, or do you run off into the tumbleweeds?
We're in the back. We're in the. Oh yeah. So I just signed to Chicago. We go back to El Paso because our lease is up, so we have to go back and pack. Literally, what was it? Monday we had to be out.
Okay.
So we go back to El Paso. It's a Wednesday. No, it's a Tuesday. This is after the draft.
Yeah.
We go back to El Paso. We're packing up. We get married on a Friday. That was probably one of the longest Fridays of my life. We're back and forth, arguing who's this and are we keeping this? Are we getting rid of that? What's the deal? We're back and forth.
For moving purposes.
We're moving. We're packing up all our stuff and getting ready to leave.
You start the day moving, you end the day married.
Meanwhile, we are getting ready to get married. So we're back and forth with each other, and I'm sitting there I'm looking at her man, down my face, whatever. While she's getting ready to marry me, and I'm, you know what? But we get married. We end up, we had a night at the Indigo Hotel. We had a bottle of wine, and we just enjoyed ourselves. That was our wedding night. And my son Jalen, my oldest, he was a training camp baby. So August, I didn't get to spend not even 24 hours with him when he was born. He was born in Houston, where my wife's originally from. And
right, that July or the following July?
No, the August of my rookie year, training camp. So spent that 24 hours with him, and literally the next day I had to get on a flight back to camp. But a few weeks later, they came up and still living in the hotel, still trying to figure out what's what and, what's going to happen. And we ended up living in the hotel for 6 weeks, a little over a month, about a month with some change. Get an apartment, and a year later, end up making the team, start stacking checks, and we decided we needed to have a second one. We couldn't leave Jalen by himself, so I want to give him a brother.
So that hardest year of your life, you also had your first son.
Just got married, had our first kid, so.
It's a lot for 22, 23 years old.
It's a lot for that first year, trying to get a job. So it's a bit much, but looking back, it was worth it.
Now, what's fun with Jax is that not only is he a 2020 baby, but you named him Jax well before Jacksonville ever enters the picture.
It's funny, me and my guys were talking about that today, actually. But yeah, we just wanted a cool name. We wanted him to have the same initials as his brother, Jalen Adonis. So just like, we need a cool name. What's a cool name? She's like, let's name him Jax. I'm like, all right, cool. And he has my last name, Alexander. So, but yeah, we picked Jax. Yeah.
Middle name, not one of the last names.
Yeah. So we just wanted a dope name, and Jax seemed pretty cool. So when I got here, everybody's like, oh, did you name after, Jacksonville? I'm like, no, he was born before that. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy how the universe works.
That is. We're wrapping up here, but let's talk a little bit about how Jacksonville entered the picture. Were you surprised when it's the Jaguars that pick up the phone and have that offer?
No, to be honest with you, I just wanted to go somewhere where I can make a difference and, come in and play and, start. And just the fact that Trent and the front office guys, coaches, saw them have faith in me to come in and do that. I was excited. And, first year was pretty bumpy, but we got some great coaches, got some great players. Obviously, we got a quarterback. So it's fun. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. It's a fun time. I told guys last year, this past year was my funnest year I've ever, played ball. But just the locker room every single day, there's no divas, there's no drama. It's literally the entire team is just one, and it's super fun to be a part of. So I'm excited for the years to come. Luckily, I'm here for a good amount of time. So
yeah. I
can say that now, years to come. But no, it's exciting. These guys are fun to be on the field with, and it's gonna be a good time.
If I had told that little kid in Oakland who at age 12 was ready to quit middle school football that you're living in Jacksonville, Florida, and you're a starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars, what would he say?
She was a lie. That's what I would say. You're lying.
No way.
No way. Absolutely not. No, for sure. Yeah. But no, looking back, I tell her all the time, I look back at my life, and it's a dream come true. Never would have thought I was going to be in the NFL. I wanted to be a hooper, so I wanted to be in the NBA. But looking back though at all the times that I've dealt with issues or whatever, it's looking back, it was all worth it. My kids are living on the beach. We're just having a good time. Living life, enjoying each other. So, and I play for a pretty damn good team. So that's also a plus.
It's a good line.
There we go.
A good line for the camera. I like that. We're going to do a little this or that, but I have to ask, your pops, what does he think of all this?
Oh, man, we talk about that a lot. We go down memory lane. Anytime people ask, it's just, a lot of time, spent just trying to get here. We've had fights, we've had good times, we've had bad times. I was stubborn a lot. I didn't like working out early in the morning, and he's a big part of both my parents. They're just big parts of me being here, living my dream. My mom stayed on me with academics, and he stayed on me with football, so I had a good balance. My wife keeps me level-headed, so I'm in a good space. I've got a good family in my corner. Everybody.
All right, you ready for this or that?
Let's do it.
I told my boyfriend that I'm very proud of this or that.
Okay.
Because I think you're a big pop culture guy.
Okay.
So I think you're gonna like this. MJ or LeBron?
Ooh, that's a good one. I was about to say that with no hesitation. Can I split that?
No, you have. It's
can't?
this or that. You have to pick one or the other.
I'm gonna say as a player, MJ.
Okay.
But LeBron, when it comes to stats, because he's an all-time leading scorer now, it's LeBron.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it, and you know what? I'm gonna give it to LeBron because.
Okay, so LeBron is the pick.
I'm gonna say LeBron because he built a school.
You like that?
I like that.
Okay. You're big. You're into the philanthropic endeavors.
Yeah.
So you appreciate that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say LeBron.
Okay.
And because I've my whole life I've watched him, so the only time I was able to watch MJ as a kid was Space Jam. So.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. UFC or golf to watch?
Y'all are really picking that? Oh Lord Jesus, help me. I'm gonna say UFC because I like to play golf better than I like to watch it.
Okay, that may or may not pop up a little bit later in this. So
okay.
UFC then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is that just like a byproduct of being a WWE kid?
So, small story.
Okay, go
quick
for
story.
it. We got time.
So,
Go
my
for
dad actually, I was a huge WWE fan.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
I can name a million. So, The Rock and Stone Cold, Triple H, Kane, the Hardy Boys,
Okay.
the Dudleys, Undertaker. I said Kane already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can name.
All of them.
Yeah, I could just keep going. But I was a huge wrestling fan, and one day he was watching UFC, and I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty good. It looks pretty real." He told me wrestling wasn't real, and I'm like, "Yeah, right. There's no way. Like these cats are killing each other. They're hitting each other with chairs, and they're bleeding.
This is absolutely real.
This is super real." And we're watching UFC, and I'm like, "Man, these cats are they're really punching. You know, you could tell the difference." And ever since then, we would just watch UFC. Anytime there was a main event, we'd slide to Buffalo Wild Wings and we'd sit and watch the fights and hang out, and that was our thing. We'd go watch the fights anytime there was a big main event. We'd go catch a fight, and that was our time to get together when he was not working. So
love that. Awesome. Stranger Things or Succession?
Stranger Things.
No question.
No, I love Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I actually want to start over for the new season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get a refresh.
Yeah, the characters are amazing. I say it to people all the time.
Yeah.
Batman or Spider-Man? Batman.
Yeah. So actually, I grew up a big Batman and Spider-Man fan. Batman was first, but Spider-Man was probably late elementary school. But I was a big fan of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the final one. I didn't realize you hunted before you met Logan Cook.
Oh yeah.
So hunting or golf? Which do you prefer to
Golf.
do? Golf.
Yeah. So because the thing is with hunting, I feel like I can only hunt so much. Golf, I could if it was up to me, nothing against you, babe. But if it was just me by myself, I'd be golfing every other day, if not every day.
Do you have the boys out golfing yet?
Yeah, every now and then I try and sometimes they get tired of it. So for a while I used to take Jalen out with me, and we'll go hit a few holes, let him drive the cart, but he gets bored after about 3 holes. So
he's 8.
Yeah.
That happens.
He's little, so it'll come though. He's in tennis camp right now. Oh, next week he starts tennis camp.
Tennis camp, okay.
Yeah, I mean not tennis, golf camp. I'm sorry. He's in tennis
so
right
he's in
now.
Tennis, then
he'll start golf next week. So
when's he starting football?
He had his first flag football season this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
So I tried not to be that dad.
Yeah.
But I was that dad a few times.
Were you one of the coaches or?
Another small story. 2 years ago, we tried T-ball, and I was the assistant coach.
Okay.
Last year, he was in basketball, and I was actually coaching.
Okay.
Wasn't too big on that because he didn't want to play. So I was like, man, I don't want to coach all these other kids.
And he doesn't even want to play.
He doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't want to do it. So when I signed up, he told me, he's like, Dad, I want to play football. It's like, are you sure?
Are you going to sit in the grass and pick weeds?
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about. I was like, man, he's going to be looking at the sky and looking at Mom. When I tell you we had our first practice, he was dialed in, from the jump.
All right.
And so we would take him to the field, do some drills. We had a couple practices with the coach and his teammate. Now his teammates are little. The age groups is 3 to 6. So a lot of his teammates were a lot younger. The teams that they were playing, they were all 6-year-olds. So everyone that he was playing was all his size, which was pretty good. But just to see him have a love for the game, it's just like, as a dad, I'm just like, man, it don't even like bump what I'm doing. Just the fact that he loves to do something, like, that's what makes me like, okay, if you love it, like, we're locked in. And but just to be able to, and I heard this on a podcast the other day, the fact that he's able to see what I'm doing, it's not like, who was we were listening to the other, it was, Chris Paul. They were talking to Chris Paul. And he was like, man, I'm glad, like, my kids don't have to watch me on YouTube, like, because I was an ancient player. Like, they can actually watch me. So when he's at the bank, he's actually watching me play. Like, it's a good feeling. Like, my son can actually sit there and watch me play football. It's not like he has to go, oh, yeah, my dad used to play. Like, no, he's watching his dad. You know, that's a super cool feeling. And now that he's playing, it's like, okay, now we're both pushing each other, you know, during each other's season. So I'm excited to see how next year goes. He's going to be a lot better athlete, and it's going to be fun.
That may actually tie into our final question.
There we go.
The final question that I ask everybody on the scoop is, when you look back at that kid in Oakland who wanted to quit, what are you most proud of between then and now?
I'll say my kids.
Yeah.
Proud of my kids. They, my wife and my kids, they got the hardest job, because I'm not the easiest guy to deal with. You see me, like, you're talking to me now, like, you don't know what it's like at home, or, you know, like, it's not the easiest, you know, being married to an athlete, or, you know, being the son of, you know, an athlete. You know, it's tough duty, and they put up with me every single day. So I'm proud of the family I have and the people that I have around me. I'm proud of myself for putting the work in, but you know, everybody has a job to do, and I feel like this just my job. You know, I shouldn't pat myself on the back too much, but I have to give my props where it's due. You know, the people that deal with me every single day, and the people that love me, I have to give them their flowers. And
that's the scoop. Roy Robertson-Harris.
My ice cream melted, by the way.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.